With your Sharpie Ultrafine, this pen right here, you are ready to take a few notes on how to ink Reeko Mortis Zombie. So, using this pen, let's write down some notes. First of all, feel free to put your name right here on this line. Write that in for me carefully using this pen. Okay, notation number 1. Let's write down the name of the pen we're using once again. Sharpie Ultra Fine. The same type of pen you used to ink Spider-Man. Okay, notation number 2. Now, the type of line we're looking for is this type of line here. In quotation marks, we want it to have character. Write that down for me. Quotation marks right there. Okay, now character, what does that really mean? Okay, line number 3, let's have you write down 3 adjectives. First of all, thick. Some areas are going to be quite thick, comma. Other areas are going to be very thin, comma. Other areas are going to be medium. So, we want to see these 3 different thicknesses of line throughout Reeko Mortis Zombie. Okay, number 4. No white out. And of course, the reason for that is the colored chalk that we're going to use on Reeko Mortis Zombie, it doesn't work on top of whiteout. So we need to be very careful and not make mistakes with the pen. Okay, notation number 5. Patience. Now, as you know by now, it takes time to do a good piece of artwork, and I need you to be patient as you work with this pen on Reeko Mortis Zombie. And of course, sometimes you have some artists who work a little bit more quickly, a little bit faster. You need something to keep them busy when they finish early, and that is, of course, the art history worksheet. Something to be avoided. Okay, now over here we're going to practice and do some different types of lines. Some of them you have done with me before, others will be new. Okay, first one here, the hairy line. So again, start drawing for me. Drawing this type of line that goes like this, all these hairs growing out of it. Once again, kind of like a bear, a very, very hairy line. I believe I mentioned to you before, but it's the type of line that looks like that middle-aged guy that you're standing behind at Cherry Hill with a lot of hair growing out of his back. Very disgusting, of course. Okay, so that is the hairy line. And this type of line should be avoided on Reeko Mortis Zombie. Okay, the line with the blots. Okay, so once again you draw a short distance. You let your pen rest there so it leaks out into a very ugly blot. Let's do that again. See how it leaks out right there when you leave your pen just sitting there on your piece of paper. This type of line also is very disturbing and the type of line that should be avoided when you're working on Reeko Mortis Zombie. Okay, there it is, the line with the blots. Okay, now on Spider-Man, we wanted to do a smooth line. Let's practice that again. First of all, I'll start here at the top. And once again, what I want to do is draw a careful, smooth line like this. A nice, smooth stroke like that. See how I pulled the pen toward me? And this type of line, while it was great for Spider-Man, should be avoided when working on Reeko Mortis Zombie. Okay, smooth line number 2. Let's start at the bottom this time. Let's push the pen away from our body like this, carefully drawing over that line, nice and smooth. Okay, it's a nice looking line, but this line is to be avoided on Reeko Mortis. We want something different. Okay, now do me a favor, and I want you to rotate your paper like this for a moment. Okay, right here. And you will notice on these 2 lines, I want you to make me some notes. Okay, here we go. This is how you're going to make me a line with character. Write this down for me. Short strokes, comma, that don't quite match up. Okay, short strokes that don't quite match up. Now that is how you do a line with character. Okay, now rotate your paper again like this, and let's work on that. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to start here at the bottom, and I want to use very short strokes that don't quite match up. Okay, some of the areas might be really thin like that. Let's make another area right here that's really thick. And notice how my pen is working here. Very short strokes that don't quite match up. And this type of action with your pen and your fingers is going to give you that line that has character. Some areas will be thick, some will be thin. It is not a smooth line. It is a line with character. Okay. Now I want you to practice that for me one more time. Again, it's got to be a short one. Now over here we do these long, smooth lines. That is not what we want to do. So again, I'll start here at the bottom. And I'll just kind of stroke my pen like this, very short strokes. And it's kind of relaxing to do because you don't have to be all perfect and smooth. And if your line doesn't quite match up, well, that's exactly what we want it to look like. Go ahead and make me a very thick area as well. Okay? Because on Reeko Mortis, we're going to have a line where one line is going to be, it's going to have parts that are very thin, maybe like that. Then maybe a part that's kind of medium, like this. Maybe it's thin again. And then maybe it gets really thick, like that. Notice those short strokes. Okay, and there you go. And now when you look at these examples, you can see the different types of lines you can make. Hairy line, the line with blots, the 2 smooth lines, pulling toward us, pushing away. And remember, these 4 types of lines that we see right here, they should be avoided when we ink Reeko Mortis Zombie. We want to work on lines that have character, lines that are made by using short strokes that don't quite match up.